Howdy friends, do y'all want to learn how to make a porch sitter like this? I'm going to show you how coming up. The first thing you're going to want to do is cut your fence pickets down, your 48, your 242s, your 36, and all I did was take and put a 45 on the top of each one, and I didn't like my 242s. I didn't keep them exactly the same height. I cut one to about 40 and the other one I left 42, but like I say, do what you want, just kind of stagger them around. And once you get them staggered, you want to line up all your bottoms like so, and then you're just going to go through, and I'm using 1-inch 18 gauge brads, and we're just going to nail it all together. And then I'm going to flip him over and nail from the back through. Once you've got him nailed together, you want to take your two 16-inch 1x4s and some 1¼ screws, and you want to put one at the very bottom, and you want to put one where it will catch all four of your top ones. You don't want to go above where it's not a double, because it'll come through your fence picket. All right, you should end up with something that looks like this. So now what we're going to do is, if you want to stain him, I'm going to paint mine, so I'm going to bring him over and spray him so he can start drying while we build our little house. All right, now you're going to take your 16.5 by 12-inch piece, and you're going to drill pilot holes down three sides, about 3/8 of an inch off the side. You're going to be screwing into another piece of 3/4 inch material. Now, once you've done that, you're going to take your 13 by 10-inch pieces, and you're going to screw them. This is how it should be set up, with your three sides, the open side here, and then you're going to screw your 13 by 10-inch pieces where the 45 is facing up the roof, and then we're going to screw him together on both sides. Once you have that, we'll set him aside. We're going to take our two 15-inch pieces with the 45s, and our two 45s meet here. We'll countersink and put some screws in him. So this is where your 15-inch piece of 1x comes in. All you're going to want to do is take your 15-inch piece here and put him at the top on the front. So the pilot holes you have drilled should be on the back side here, and you're just going to countersink and screw him in. Now once you got him in, you want to take your little roof, and he should set right on top. And he should have about 3 inches overhang on the two sides. All you do now, countersink and drill him down to your walls. Now, you got your little roof on your little house. On this front side, what I did, because it was easier than trying to measure it out, I'm going to lay it down onto a sheet of plywood, trace it, cut it, put it in. So all we're going to do is put him on, countersink him, and screw him in. Next, we're going to move to our roof shingles. And what I used is I took a piece of this beadboard. I think it's T111. I think it's the numbers maybe. And I cut it into 2-inch strips. What I did was took a sheet and cut it to 18 inches one way and 16 inches the other way. So 18 inches is the way that these are running. 16 inches the other way, just to make it more manageable to cut it down into the 2-inch strips. When you cut your strips, one thing you want to make sure of is that one starts with a full bead and one starts with half of a flat. So here's a bead, here's a flat, here's a bead, so that when they line up on the end, they should look like that. You don't want this, you want that. Okay? is start with one on the back of our house, not where we put the front. We're going to start on the back flush. We'll start one right at the bottom, and then we'll nail him off. Then when you put your next one, you want to make sure that you grab one with a half, and you're going to overlap it about 1/4 of an inch. And then you're going to nail it down, and you're just going to keep working your way up to the top. Once you get your little shingles on, for the cap, all you're going to do is take one of your 2-inch pieces and rip a 45 on one side, and those two 45s meet up, and you'll nail them down. So there's your little shingles with your cap on. And ain't it cool? See these different colors in here? Isn't that cool? So what you're going to want to do now is take your shortest one in the event that you had to cut something, which I did, as you see, because you're not going to want to leave it this long. You want about 2 inches, and that's actually what I've got. So what you want to do is measure 2 inches overhang here, 2 inches there, and take your skill saw and just cut him off square. And when cutting him with your skill saw, you want to make sure you go down. Going up, you're going to hit every one, and it's going to be hard. So you want to cut him down. But there you go. That's how you build the little house. From here, all I'm doing is taking some cedar strips and cutting them down to 1/4 of an inch and facing everything. All right, so what I did is took some strips and I did my frame, framed out my little door, framed out my little window, and then I took strips and ran up about 1/2 inch apart, and then I put strips over that gap to give it like a board and batten look. Then on the sides, what I'm doing is only going halfway and doing the same board and batten look. And then we're going to take a strip and go straight onto our edge of our roof on both sides. Once you finish with your little house, you're going to want to take some tape, and I'm going to the points of each side. You're just going to put a piece of tape across there like so. And just to be safe, we'll go too deep here. And you may have to tape off more or less according to how you do it. And then you want to just take like a razor blade or something sharp. And all we're going to do is take and just make essentially triangles. There's no special way to do it. And we're going to peel him up. Like so. And like I say, you don't want to get any extra tape, any extra paint anywhere else, so you may have to add a little tape. And then take your rattle can, and just spray the top of your mountain here. Gotta get some snow on there. Once you do, you peel your tape off. There you go. Tops of your mountains has got snow on them now. I'm just going to go through and do the rest. Now you've got your house built and you've got your mountain sprayed. So what you're going to want to do is take your back panel and line him up, on the sides of your little house. And you want to take a pencil and make a mark right here at the peak on both sides, and then where the house ends, right there. Now you're going to take and go down roughly an inch from where you made those marks. You're going to take your framing square, draw your line. Then you're going to drill your hole on that line, and that's how you're going to connect your house to your back plate. We'll set our back plate, and this is where you're going to need a little longer screw. And you run your screw through those holes you just made. Now we're going to take him, flip him to the bottom here, where we had already pre-drilled those holes, and screw them into the bottom of the back plate. And there we go. All that is left now is to put our numbers on it. And there you go. All I did was take my plate, my name and number plate, and screwed through the back into it. And which, you know, you can just do, if you wanted, you could just do the numbers. That's how it's done. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope y'all build one of these. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep making dust.